may get kind of ugly today, but we definitely going to address the dog and pony show of TWU Local 100 and the MTA. How you guys doing today? It's the new year. I think this is our first show of the new year. And we go get it cracking today, trust me. Um, we like to start off the show of how to donate to the platform. You could donate via Cash App. The Cash App is Progressive Action 100. And the PayPal is Progressive Action, and you could donate via Patreon. But I'm gonna talk about that later in the show because I want to get this show going. I've been waiting for the show all day, and I'm gonna get straight into it. So to make sure that nobody don't miss what's going on, I need you guys to share out the show. I'm gonna do that myself right now. I need you guys to share out the show. The more people that know about our issues, the better. And I go by a saying, I live by a saying. In order to create change, you must create awareness first. So we got to create that awareness right now. Let me see what's going on here. Man, I'm matter of fact, I need you guys to just share it. Let's jump straight um into it. Once again, another MTA worker is assaulted. Now, this is what the headlines say. If the cops are not around, it doesn't mean you can assault somebody, says Bronx bus passenger who chased down suspect in driver attack. Now, what happened in the Bronx? A bus operator operating her bus, unprovoked attack on her. A passenger on the bus chased the guy down and held him down until police came. Um, Nothing bad to say about that. That's honorable. There's a lot of people nowadays that just do this. Pull out their phone and record instead of calling 911 or even helping. So salute to that individual. Um, but let's look at what the union had to say about this attack. Now, it says Local 100 Vice President Richie Davis expressed anger that the top charges against Guerrero are misdemeanors. This was a felony assault and these charges must be upgraded, Davis said. We are demanding that the Bronx District Attorney's Office treat this much more seriously. Now, Richie Davis is out of his rabbit hole, climbed out of his rabbit hole with a statement acting like he's angry as to what happened to the bus operator. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Richie Davis Dog and Pony Show. Now, he's angry. Then he goes to the depot and take a propaganda photo. That's what I like to call them. So this was posted on the union Twitter. It says, at Kingsbridge Depot, where bus operator Charlene Austin, the victim of a New Year's Day assault, starts her day, Mapstower VP Richie Davis and operators meet on the first day of the new pick. What is the significance of talking about you're at the depot where a bus operator got assaulted, who essentially you guys aren't protecting? But Richie Davis is so angry, but he's well aware that it's election season and he must play his role to act like he cares for the members. And of course, they must take a photo to show you that they are on top of things. But they more on top of doing nothing. We cannot continue to fall for the banana in the tailpipe when it comes to these reps. I mean, and look at this picture. You could basically see the smiles through the mask. Like, that's how crazy it is. And I'm quite sure the people who took the picture don't know what type of propaganda that they being a part of. But they like to pull people into their propaganda, post something, and without even the people in the picture knowing what they're posting. But I keep telling you guys, stop taking pictures with these clowns. The clown show is totally out of control. Like, this is the only union where I see the circus is always in town. And it's quite embarrassing. Now, he's angry. Let me introduce you guys to the DA that's in charge of this case, that wrongly charged this guy with a misdemeanor. This is Darcel Clark. How soon can we forget about Darcel Clark? The NYPD criticized her. Progressive Action has criticized her. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. Now let me fill y'all in with Darcel Clark, just in case you guys may have forgot. Remember this story? Terminally ill man who stabbed MTA conductor takes plea deal with no prison time. Y'all remember that, right? Now, Darcel Clark is the DA that was responsible for releasing this guy who viciously attacked conductor Denal Jenkins. Y'all remember when he got viciously stabbed up in the Bronx when this individual tried to kill him? Yeah, DA Clark was the one who released this guy after 2 months in jail because he was allegedly terminally ill. Now, it's sad that you have a DA who sympathizes with someone who's terminally ill, who made a decision to attack an MTA worker, viciously attack an MTA worker, than the people who's coming to work each and every day to make an honest living. This is the type of DA that she is. Now, when we found out that this guy was going to be released, because we were not feeling that. Like, how can you release someone who viciously stabbed a MTA, or anyone, but an MTA worker in this case, right? The same DA who's going to charge this guy with a misdemeanor. But this is what Progressive Action did. And I want to be clear. Let me play the video first. Let me get to the video first.
Thanks for joining us. You're watching News 12 the Bronx. I'm Eric Stelzer. Well, transit workers speaking out at a rally outside the Bronx District Attorney's office today. And they're demanding people who assault them on the job get prosecuted to the fullest of the law. News 12's Carmen Grant has more.
Just recently, there was a man on a train with a gun and a baseball bat. And any one of our brothers and sisters could have got caught in the middle of that.
These transit workers say that's just one of the many examples they faced on the job. Denal Jenkins knows firsthand those dangers. These are pictures of Jenkins moments after he was stabbed several times back in April at the East 149th Street subway station. His attacker, Walter Rivera, agreed to plead guilty to felony assault in exchange for a plea deal that allows Rivera to be released on the condition that he stay out of trouble and get treatment for his terminal cancer. Transit workers speaking out against the Bronx District Attorney's Office and its decision to plead down the charges.
It sends a bad message about transit workers' lives, and it says that our lives don't matter.
Over the past several weeks, transit workers speaking out about assaults on the job through protest rallies and this march across the Brooklyn Bridge, demanding that their union put their safety first. WTU Local 100, which represents more than 40,000 workers in the city's public transportation system, is applauding the recent announcement of an additional 500 police officers into the subway and bus systems. Workers want to make sure their safety is the top priority.
500 cops is coming to the subway system. Is it to protect workers, or is it to watch the turnstiles?
Carmen Grant, News 12.
Now, that's the action that Progressive Action took when Darcel Clark did what she did by releasing that guy who viciously attacked the conductor. Now, we asked the union to be a part of this rally, but they didn't see no significance of it. They didn't see no significance of it. Why? Because it wasn't an election year. But now it's an election year. Now it's an election year. You got reps saying that they are angry, that this must be a felony. Where was these reps at during the altercation that happened in the Bronx before? Just in 2019. But being that now it's 2020 and they're gonna need your vote. The dog and pony show has started. The acting has started. The need for them to try to persuade us like they care is now in effect. These people don't care. Richie Davis don't care. Could you imagine if Richie Davis had to go back to a bus? He'd probably quit. But he's not the only one who you're going to see this from. You're going to see fake action from various reps because it's an election season. Let's not be confused or twisted on that. Now, I personally won't be surprised if the union do a press conference regarding the attacks because they got to act like they care. They got to show you guys that, hey, we got your back. Yeah, you don't have our back. You pretend to have our back only during election year. Let's not get it confused or twisted. This is exactly what's going on. Now, I forgot to tell you guys, if you would like to call in, let me put this back on the screen. Give me a second. I got to put the number back on the screen. Hold on. One second. Yeah, so if you would like to call in, the number is 515-605-9842. Let's discuss these things. Man, the MTA is trying it. Let me put this next story up there. The MTA is definitely trying it. So this came out in the news today. MTA insists Metro North worker died from COVID-19 due to his own negligence. Can you believe that? The MTA is blaming the workers for exposing themselves for COVID at work, in which some of them didn't make it. How cold of a company is that? Now, let me put up a part of the article, and let me read to you guys what the MTA is saying about this. The 58-year-old husband contributed to or caused his illness in either whole or in part by exposure to individuals in which there was the presence of COVID-19, which are otherwise outside of the control of defendants, the court documents say. The court papers also say Karen has already received a payout, which should be subtracted from any damages she may win in this case. The papers did not say how much she received. O's family lawyer Bob Sullivan told the Post they didn't follow safety procedures, and their defense is that it's the employee's fault. It couldn't be more hypocritical. Pay attention to what's going on. The MTA is basically saying you didn't catch COVID from the MTA, and if you are awarded anything because we gave you money, we gave your family money when you passed away, it must be subtracted from that. How cold-hearted are these people? I'm telling you, we must do everything that we can do to keep each other safe, because it's clear that the MTA do not care. They didn't protect us during this pandemic. Now, his situation happened in April. We know the MTA was all over the place back in April. They didn't want to give us masks. They was telling us masks were against uniform policy. We had to go get our own masks. When they gave us masks, they wanted us to use masks for the week. It was a whole bunch of foolery going on. But the MTA is blaming the death of a worker who died from COVID on himself. That is as cold as it gets. But the MTA, they don't want to mention that they were doing their own thing. They were doing whatever they wanted to do, and they continue to do so. They are continuing to do so. So I found this out. Put this on the screen, and this is the latest MTA swindle, and they are putting the members, the riding public, in grave danger. So basically, the MTA, they expect us to be dumb, completely dumb, like our union leadership. They don't expect us to keep up. They don't expect the union leadership to keep up with the CDC. And just because the union leadership is dumb, they think that we are automatically dumb. They don't think that we are out there doing the research and keeping up with the guidance of the federal and local governments. Just because Tony Utano is a fool doesn't mean that all 44,000 of us are fools. And they gotta think, I can't blame the MTA for thinking that we are fools, because they have to look and say, you guys elected a whole group of stupid people. You guys elected a bunch of idiots. So I can't blame them for thinking the way that they think and trying to get over on us. Now, I want to be clear. I'm going to show y'all this next screenshot. And this screenshot is from the CDC. If you see what I have circled, it says after day 10 without testing, and then it says after day 7, after receiving a negative test result, tests must occur on day 5 or later. Now, let me explain both of these screenshots. So, during the beginning of this pandemic, the MTA weaponized the CDC against its own workforce. When we say, why didn't you guys give us masks? They said the CDC. When we said, why did you guys give us 1 mask a week? They said the CDC. Anything that you asked them, they said the CDC. In fact, I was on a Zoom with Sarah Feinberg maybe 4 days ago, and she brought up the same thing again, the CDC. Now, the truth is that the MTA is not following the CDC guidelines as prescribed. So if you look at what I got squared off on the screen, Section A, Part 5 of the MTA All Agency Updated Return to Duty Process and Travel Leave Guidance due to COVID-19 precautions. A lot of people been asking me, hey, Tramel, what is the protocol or policy for when you get infected with COVID, or you come in contact with someone from COVID? So I've been sending this out. So it basically says, employee, and I'm quoting this, employees whose work duties do not allow them to work productively from home should self-isolate at home for 4 calendar days from the date of contact and be tested for COVID-19 on day 4. Now, that sentence basically says that if you work on a train, a bus, you're a cleaner, you're in car equipment, you're a track worker, and you can't work from home, you must come back to work immediately. If you're able to work from home, you get some leeway. So most of the people who work from home are the bosses, the superintendents, and all those people. So they want to make sure that they are good. Now, the memo also mentioned on day 4, if you test negative, supervision can request for you to come back to work or direct you to come back to work, right? Now, back to this screenshot, the CDC clearly states tests must occur on day 5 or later, right? It must happen on day 5 or later, not day 4. The MTA is saying day 4. Look at that. The MTA is saying employees who work duties do not allow them to work productively from home should self-isolate at home for 4 calendar days from the date of contact and be tested for COVID-19 on day 4. Once again, the CDC clearly states that tests must occur on day 5 or later. So what is the MTA doing? The MTA is purposely cutting corners to get you back to work as fast as possible. They do not care about your health and safety. There is a reason why the CDC said that on day 5 or later, not day 4 or later, day 5 or later, there is a reason why the CDC said that. Now let's be clear. The sleight of hand, the technology that the MTA is playing during these times while these cases continue to rise is nothing less than egregious. Nothing less than that. It's sad to be honest. After scapegoating the CDC for months, and the CDC finally got some proper policy and protocol in place, the MTA decides not to follow it. But they don't follow it um out of a mistake. It's done intentionally. And what they do is that they ignore the guidance that will not fit their business thing well right now. Their business needs. If it go against their business needs, the MTA is going to cut corners. Bottom line. If it go against their business needs, they go find a way to circumvent it. And guess what the union is doing? They are doing nothing about it. Nothing about it. The MTA act like their business needs and the health and safety of employees are exclusive of each other. And that's how they treat it. They treat it like it's exclusive of each other. Everything is inclusive. The health and safety and the MTA business needs are inclusive of each other. They don't treat it like that. They do not treat it like that. For an example, what goes down with these trailers that they got around the property for social distancing. These trailers is not on the platform. These trailers are outside of the station where workers have to walk to. So what the MTA did, sleight of hand, technology again. Hey, look, we care. We gave them trailers so they could social distance. But what they not telling workers or the public or the media is that we didn't put a supplement in place so workers could actually utilize these spaces. A lot of us don't have recovery time or a lot of recovery time to go use these spaces. So it's just an illusion. It's a sleight of hand, and it's technology. Let's be clear about it. The MTA put trailers that we can't use. So what do workers do? Wow, I don't have a lot of time to walk to the trailer and actually take a break. So you know what? I'm going to go inside the packed crew room and let bygones be bygones. And guess what the union did? The union didn't do anything to get the MTA to change their schedules up to supplement so these trailers can be useful. Because the MTA only care about service. That's all they care about. This was only done. And going back to them purposely ignoring the CDC guidance. The CDC say that we must get tested on day 5 or later. The MTA is saying that you get tested 4 days after you came in contact with the person. And if you test negative on day 4, your supervisor can direct you to come back to work. The CDC guidance, once again, say at least 5 days. The MTA say 4. Why are they purposely cutting corners? Because it's against their business needs. They are here to make sure we provide a service, and our health and safety is either secondary or third. I don't know anymore. It's definitely not first. But guess what the union is doing? Nothing about it. The union is doing absolutely nothing about it. This is against the CDC guidance, something that they weaponized against us for months. I'm telling you, the MTA, they must think that we are idiots. We elected idiots. They talk to these idiots every day, and they probably make them feel good. Oh, you guys are doing a wonderful job. And Utano look like the type that likes to get praise. We got a phone call. Let's see who's on the line. Caller 8475. You now live on the Progressive Action TV show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Evening, sir. This is Operator Kemp. How are you?
What's going on, brother Kemp? How you doing?
I'm all right. What a great show. Great to see the trailer, the old video when Progressive Action was outside of the courthouse fighting the fight that the union wasn't.
As usual. As usual.
As usual. As usual. Uh, it's amazing how from the beginning of the pandemic, transit has used the union to work against the members, to basically push their agenda on all of the members and to keep us in harm's way and to keep us complacent and to keep us quiet and to keep us from complaining and to keep us from filing lawsuits and to keep us in the bus and to keep us exposed and to keep our lives at risk. They have 100% used the union as their vessel.
Facts.
For protection, which is crazy, right? Because when you consider it, we can't be mad at transit, right? I mean, you can't be mad at they're doing what's in their best interest, and the people who are tasked with protecting us and maintaining our best interest have done nothing really except use this pandemic to solidify their own interests.
Facts.
Rather than majority of the members. We can just, if you want to look at the most broad aspect of it, and just simplify what they haven't done. In no point from the beginning of March up until today has there been a unified safety stand down demanding that our safety is paramount. There has not been one. You cannot tell me that there is no division, department, area, swing room, bus location, train yard, that you cannot find a hazard directly attributed to COVID that is not being properly addressed, that the union cannot identify and stop work because of that hazard. The question there lies, then why not?
Facts.
Then how is it that you see fit that you cannot identify a location where members are being directly exposed and proceed to have a safety stand down until that safety issue is rectified?
Fact. Now, the
only answer would be is because the governor and the MTA literally control our union currently.
I mean, they do. The union represents Cuomo first and the members second, right? And as far as like any type of safety stand down, they are forbidden to take any type of action that will affect service. They are forbidden for that.
Correct.
Right? So we are in the transportation business, right? So any type of safety stand down would affect what? Service. And they are not trying to do that. And even allowing the MTA to get away with circumventing the CDC guidance now is mind-boggling to me. But what do we expect? They laid down this entire pandemic.
Well, they cherry pick what and how they want to use the CDC to their benefit, right? And again, it's the union's responsibility to say, hey, wait a minute, you can't pick and choose when you want to apply the CDC guidelines, and then you can't pick and choose when you want to negate it. Technically, the real reason that the MTA does it is because they know they're protected by the governor, and he'll just reestablish laws and rules to benefit the MTA how they see fit. But any other agency in any other part of real society would have filed lawsuits by the hundreds, considering the fact that we have lawyers on retainer. It wouldn't cost you any more money than you're already paying just to file an injunction to state that the company is not following CDC guidelines and make them on the record identify whether they're going to follow it or not follow it. But again, that would mean that the union would have to piss off transit. And why would they want to piss off transit when they need transit to help them get reelected?
Facts. Now, let's be clear. Utano is nothing but an extension of management. He has been representing management more than his own members right now, and he has been protecting Cuomo's best interests while doing the bare minimum to protect us. See, Utano ain't no fool, and none of them is really foolish. They do the bare minimum to not raise any red flags or not be too blatant. But anyone who has any type of logic, any type of sense of street smarts, any sense of type of what real unionism look like, will see that Utano is a traitor. There's no way possible he could explain his actions during. I mean, they couldn't explain their actions before. There's no way possible that they can explain their actions during this pandemic. There's no way possible how progressive action is catching the MTA slipping more than they are. Now, they are. We must be aware that it is an election year, and they know how to ramp it up to do the bare minimum again, to show the members that they care and act like showing the members that they care.
But there's something that they can't do this year. They can't act like they care. Remember, we were always told throughout this whole pandemic, don't Monday morning quarterback, right? Don't use an issue that happened yesterday that hasn't been worked out, because we've seen unparamounted amounts of sacrifice from all the members, and we've seen a pandemic which no one could prepare for, which absolutely they could have prepared for it, because there was a book that told you what to do to prepare for it. At no point from the point when that book was established has the current union administration went to that book in the same way that the fire department goes to buildings and checks to make sure that their fire safety systems are operable, intact. The same reason why schools have fire drills. The same reason why the police department, when you see them coming down the block with all their lights on and they line up in a formation and they do these little drills and practice in the event that there's some huge pandemic. If we have something in place, how is it possible that the union never saw fit to make sure that if ever a pandemic reared its head, considering that since the Obama administration, they were talking about what would happen, how it would happen, and where it would happen, how is it that the largest transportation system in the world does not have, or the union does not hold to task or have drills or any type of preparations available in the event that that thing actually happens? The reason why is because they don't care. Okay? The reason why they don't care is because the reality is they can hunker down. They can still.
You there, bro?
They can still go back to their house and tell us we need to get back to work because we're heroes. They can go hide in their closet and tell us we better get to work because we're emergency responders. Well, at some point, the members throughout this pandemic said, you know what? We're not waiting for the union anymore. We're taking it upon ourselves to save our own lives. And the union cannot take credit for that. The union cannot take credit for the members putting straps in front of their seats to stop people from coming to the front door. The members did that. The union cannot take credit for forcing transit to put sliders in the door because the members did that. The union cannot take credit for anything valuable that was added throughout this pandemic because it was nothing but the members that stood up for themselves and their coworkers and forced management's hands without the help of the union. That is a fact. That is documented. And anything they want to say moving forward about how they care about our safety, I would challenge them that in the midst of this pandemic, who was standing by our side to stop the passengers from coming through the front, to stop management and transit from giving us shower curtains, to stop management and transit from forcing us to collect fares? Show me the union rep. Show me the union rep who stood there and said, no matter what, we are demanding this. Because that's their job. And they didn't do it. Not one of them. Not one of them stood up on TV in a location and demanded it. No, you know what the members said? We know we're dying. Our union is going to let us die. And if we don't stand up for ourselves, we're all going to be dead. And that's a fact. That's not debatable. Show me receipts. Show me otherwise. Show me a document.
Well, they go play the game.
I know who has the documents. It's us.
Yeah, they go play the game. You know, what they try to do is And then this is part of their illusion. Oh, you don't know what we was talking about with management behind the scenes. Well, whatever you was talking about with management behind the scenes didn't come to fruition in the front, because every piece of
Period.
action, like what Kemp just mentioned, was done by the members. Um, the members were the ones who stopped the front door boarding. The members were the one who fought for PPE. Um, Now it's the members fighting for the MTA to change their policy on how fast for workers to come back to work. Because like I mean, they not even Monday night quarterbacking, bro. You know what I'm saying? They going from
Oh,
Super Bowl to Super Bowl. Because they
oh, I know what the union was fighting for.
What?
Remember what their fight was? They were fighting for hazard pay.
What
And
happened
we
to
see how
that?
that turned out.
What happened to that?
We see how that turned out. That was their fight. We're fighting for hazard pay. We got Sarah Feinberg and Pat Floyd and the union president, and we're all together, and we all want Donald Trump to give us hazard pay, and we're going to fight back. See how that worked? You got a $600 check out of Trump before you got hazard pay.
That's crazy.
But yet you still out here in the hazard. You still out here with the numbers going up in a new strain present. We still out here. But yet, what are they doing? I'm sorry, they're campaigning.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they're doing. They going to depots, taking pictures, and we're gonna I got some more stuff coming up. You hanging around, Kemp? You go. I want you to stay on if you can.
Well, actually, I have to go do the goodwill of the people right now, but I did want to tap in because you had me fire up when I watched that video of my brother getting stabbed and the union doing nothing, or the DA doing nothing, or transit not caring.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so funny how nobody ever went to that guy's side and made sure that union member had his rights and had the full power of the union standing beside him. But when someone who didn't look like him got punched in the eye, the union president saw fit to make it the biggest issue and bring her to the union hall and have a press conference. But when a brother was stabbed, fought off the attacker, held the attacker with blood coming out of his back, that guy didn't get a hero's welcome.
Nothing.
But
Now
there you go.
Now they may have a press conference because it's election season. So they gotta act like
Right.
they gotta act like they care. But none of us come to work to be assaulted. But anyone in their right mind would rather. Nobody will want to get stabbed. I don't know anyone who will want to get stabbed. All of a sudden, this situation is more egregious than the stabbing. Nobody wasn't angry when the stabbing happened, but now everyone is angry and up in arms.
Right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
look at Goebel, right? Look what happened with Brother Goebel, how they want to have the big press conference outside the train station, but at the day of the incident, nobody could be found, right? They left because they didn't want to wait, and the photo op wasn't present, so it didn't become valuable at that moment. But 8 months later, it's high priority.
And Lena McRae, she just said that they fought for us to get the coffee. How soon can we forget about that? How we forgot?
That's right.
How we forgot? They was writing letters to Starbucks over some coffee. They was writing letters to Costco.
The extra small.
They was
The
writing
extra
letters.
small coffee.
They was writing letters to
They couldn't
Costco
even fight
so
for
we
a
could
cold
skip the
brew.
line.
They couldn't even fight for a cold brew.
I mean, this is
we,
this is
yeah,
this is
disgusting.
this is beyond disgusting, bro. And my thing is that when are we going to say enough is enough? We don't need to take
Well,
no picture.
We've been saying enough is enough, and I just think now, I think the members actually believe in the process, but I think what's been exposed is the level of corruption now is so deep that it can no longer be hidden. The pandemic has exposed exactly what they don't do every day.
Facts.
And I think the members are well aware now that when it came to life and death, see, it's very easy for them to shuck and jive around 5 minutes here, 20 minutes there, extra $1 here, 30 cents there, couple of disciplines here, couple of disciplines there.
Hold on 1 second. I see Delilah Goebel, I think that's Goebel's wife. She said she found out his passing on my own. She just commented on the picture. You know what, Miss Goebel? Miss Goebel, The number to call in is 515-605-9842. Call in if you can. If you could.
I'm getting off the line. Have a good night, y'all. Take care of yourselves and be safe. Tomorrow, there's supposed to be some stuff going down with Congress, with the president, with the transformation of power. I don't know if things are going to be good or bad. Just be mindful and be vigilant tomorrow. Prepare yourselves. Be aware. We don't know if something bad or good is going to happen, but the main objective, no matter what, is drop your tools and get back to your family if worst case scenario rears its head. Take care of yourself.
All right, peace, bro. Miss Goebel, if that is you, please call into the show. The number is 515-605-9842. I didn't know she watched the show, but if that's her, please call in. Let's talk. Yeah, so this is another thing. Like this is the level of like I'm gonna play this video for you guys. And we're going to discuss it. Check it out. Hold on a second. Let me see who this is. Give me 1 second. Caller 3829. You now live on the Progressive Action TV show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How you doing? It's Delilah Goebel.
Is this Miss Go? Is this D Goebel? Want to make sure
this is the Goebel.
Okay, this is
the wife.
This is the wife. I hear the baby in the background. How you doing?
Yes. Good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm surprised. I didn't know you watched the show. I see that you
I do. I'm interested in knowing what's happening.
That's good. I see that you said a couple of things and I just happened to catch it in the chat. You said that you found out his passing on your own. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes. So when his incident happened, it was like 8 in the morning. I was on my way to work, and I was getting the alerts where it's saying something happened on the train, and I'm like, okay. And then it started to, I guess, all register, like, hold up, is this Garrett on the train? So I started texting him. I have my family. I'm like, they're texting me. They're like, yeah, we heard about it, but they're not saying who it was. So I found out the hospital he was at, and that's when I found out about that he passed. And once I was in there, I didn't see anybody until I came out, but by then I already knew he passed away.
Wow. And we sorry for your loss. I didn't know him personally, but the fact that he put on a uniform the same way I put on a uniform, and we don't come to work for these type. You wouldn't never think that would happen to a transit worker. So it definitely blew my mind. Now I don't. People probably think that we got this set up, but you honestly just got in the chat, and this is. I'm not prepared to speak to you, but I do have some questions.
Sure.
With the union had something that you attended, I think it was 2 weeks ago in the MTA at Flatbush. Yeah. Now that bothered me because there were people there. I mean, there's members here who consider Goebel family. I mean, I done seen astronomical donations. I just seen a toy drive, and it bothered me that nobody was there, or the members didn't have the opportunity to attend and be a part of every step of the process. Did you know how the MTA and the union was handling this?
So let me just elaborate, because this was planned. So what happened was, when the police department and things weren't moving the way I felt it should move, I was reaching out to Sarah I wanted to distribute flyers. I was really because they're only distributing where it happened. But I'm like, if the person is homeless, we're going to distribute all through transit line, because a homeless person rides up and down the transit system. So that was the main purpose for that on that Friday, was to go and hand out flyers and post up so that we could get the person that's wanted, the one they wanted to talk to. Mm-hmm. So when everything happened that Friday, when they caught the guy it kind of like shifted. I didn't know what direction it was gonna go. I just knew, to show up. She was like, she didn't want to cancel because I guess there was already a lot of things planned for that day. So the initiative was just for the flyers. Then everything kind of snowballed into that. I wasn't aware of that no workers were going to be there. I mean, I've gotten hit up by many of his coworkers, people who I know personally, his friends. And I was like, wait, it wasn't like that wasn't the reason. So I had to kind of explain why that was set up, and then it just kind of ended up being what it was.
Okay, because I found it strange that the union had toys there, gift wrap toys,
Mhm.
automatically, um, and they will use, your tragedy for their propaganda. We done seen this before. We had a
Mhm.
conductor almost get killed in 2019. The union barely showed up, right? But
Right.
being that it's an election year, they want to do all these things. They want to act like they care.
Mhm.
And even now, I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. The girl who this guy that allegedly killed your husband, um,
Mhm.
the girl that he assaulted. I don't say assaulted or whatever he did with her. He touched her, whatever the case was. And from her
Mhm.
understanding, she's saying the police wasn't looking for him. The only reason he got they
Yes,
helped they
that's
ha-
correct.
yeah, they wasn't even looking for him. Now I'm gonna tell you this, and I can't really say my source. I could tell you my source behind the scenes, but
Mhm.
the reason why they didn't arrest him originally was because they don't think that it's him. And
Okay.
and I mean, this is came from a source, and like I said, I could tell you
Mhm.
behind the scenes, and I could have you speak to other people also. Um, and
Mhm.
they didn't arrest him because they didn't think that it was him. I mean, you probably know more than me, but mine came from a high-ranking source. But I found it strange that even when I read the report of what happened, they said Gobu seen fire coming from up under the train. The conductor seen fire
Mhm.
coming from a garbage can, I guess at his position. These trains have a habit of
Yeah.
catching on fire too.
Yeah. I'm still unclear of everything that happened. I feel like you said, there's different stories. Like I haven't got a report or anything of that because it's an investigation. So they're very like, well, you can't have anything because it's an investigation. And when I read the story, like about when they caught the guy, I read it and then it made sense. Like, oh, okay, so it wasn't like they found him. He did something else to another MTA worker, and which led them to this. Like it wasn't like, you know, I get it. I read the same stories everybody else does, and I read what is being said. So I kind of was like, okay, that's why I'm very cautious with everything that's happening because it's very up in the air. It's not a clear black and white. So I'm just keeping my eyes and
and
ears.
and it should be clear black and white. They got cameras everywhere. I mean, they had me under investigation for 3 4 months,
Oh, I saw that.
and they had clear
Yeah, I
pictures,
saw the camera was nice and clear.
nice and clear. But for your situation, that even the picture that they showed of him, it wasn't him leaving the station that where it happened at because nobody don't look like they're in a
Yeah,
rush. There's no smoke. There's no anything. Now,
yeah.
in my opinion, I think that they wanted to get him off the street. They wanted to close out the year because at the way I look at it with them, they don't care which black person get arrested. We want someone arrested for this, but we want to make sure that it's the right
Mhm.
person because there was plenty of fires being
Correct.
lit during that time when it happened to your husband. There was plenty of fires being
Yes.
lit, and we didn't forget about that. And I mean, only advice that I would like to give you is that be cautious when these people are moving the way they moving because they move very dishonest. They not forthcoming, and they will use your tragedy as their benefit. I mean, just the fact that they wasn't there for the visual that we gave, right? Because
Mhm.
it wasn't political. We wanted them to come. The MTA purposely told the chaplain office not to go. It was so much stuff going on behind the scenes that they tried to use against us and not make that happen when we was just trying to honor the families, and it was very touching. And
Yeah.
we just wanted to bring closure with that, and move forward and whatever. Let me ask you a question. Did you have a
Sure.
choice in wanting it at Flatbush Avenue?
Yes, I did. I did because I we lived in Coney Island, but
Okay.
he grew up on Flatbush
Hmm.
over there, and I personally like the 110th is gonna get a plaque and stuff, but it's not one that I would want to visit or have things for him because it's like that's where the tragedy. I don't
I
want
got
to
you.
go there.
I got
So
you.
Flatbush seems more. I can go there. I can see it. That was his last day of work. That's where he went. So for me, it's a little more, I guess, better for me, for my kids to see. I don't want to take them to a place where it happened.
That's I respect that. I respect that. I want to give a shout out to Belinda, Peak and Michael Taylor. They
Oh,
have been
yes, they're the best. I
yeah,
love them.
they have been phenomenal. During this whole entire thing, and I'm blessed to have coworkers like that. Uh, but
Yes,
look,
yes. I love all of y'all. It's been we are so grateful and we appreciate. I mean, I have nonstop people reach out to me just checking in. So, all the workers, I appreciate it. If they knew him, if they didn't, if they have done nothing but showed us love. So I appreciate it.
that's cool. So what I'm gonna do is that when I get off the show, I'm gonna add you as a friend or add me as a friend on Facebook, and we will speak later.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Thanks for
I'll be
calling in.
watching your show.
All right.
No problem.
All right. You never know who's watching the show, who's in the comments, who's doing whatever. But shout out to Miss Goebel for calling in. Happy I had the opportunity to speak with her. I never spoke with her besides at the visual, and it was very short and very brief. But I want to show you guys. I want to show you guys something. This is what our leadership looks like. This is what they're doing out here. Let me play this video.
Local for transit workers. Big shout out. Local for transit workers.
Could you guys believe that we had that's administrative vice president Linwood Woodchard. Now I edited, I made the video of him getting shot out the cannon, but this guy was doing backflips, being a ninja in front of Tony Utano in order to entertain him, in order to show Utano. I don't know what his reasoning was because I can't even think on that type of level. But the level of the foolery of this union leadership has reached is embarrassing. Could you imagine any other top union officer in any other union doing that in front of their union president? Could you imagine a black police officer, top officer in the union, doing backflips and summies in front of Pat Lynch? Could you imagine that? I mean, this is the level of foolery that they have reached. And I want to play this video too. I want to show you guys this video real quick. Look at him. Look at him. Now, it seems like either Witchard is trying to be an entertainer for Utano or be Utano's Mr. Benson. You seen how he tried to slip Utano the cane? Like it was a nickel bag of weed in broad daylight in the park. You seen how he slipped him that? Now, another thing that's telling about this video is that Utano is beaten and battered right now. He has been broken down for a long time. And I'm not even talking about him physical walking with a cane because he is an older man or whatever the case is. But this is the reality. Utano haven't worked his tools or worked his job in 38 years, 39 years. He has been released in some form of fashion for 40 years, somewhere around there. 40 years, right? If Utano was to lose this election, in which he will, they will lose this election this time around. Utano is not fit to work his tools. So what do you think that Utano is going to do if he loses this election? He is going to retire or he's going into the international. He has a golden parachute. Utano have absolutely no skin in the game. No matter how bad he does, he's going to be good. No matter how much he sells us out, he is going to be good. There's absolutely no incentive for Utano to treat MTA workers or TWU Local 100 members with respect. There's no reason for him to go hard. There's no reason for him to care. He knows he would never work his job again. There's absolutely nothing to keep him in line to make sure that he do the right thing by us members. There's nothing for him nothing to keep him in line. It's not like if he get voted out, he got to go back to his tools. Utano is not fit enough to go back to his tools. And even he knows that it's an urgency right now because he's beaten and battered, walking around here with a cane. But I give him credit. I'm lying. I don't give him no credit. It's election year. And even with a bad foot, he's out there making sure that he's being seen because being elected is more important than anything. Not the health and safety of the members, not making sure that the MTA do the right thing for us, not making sure that assaults is not happening because they only care. They do this seasonal. They only care seasonal. And when it's election season, they all hands on deck. When it's not election season, they do not care what's going on under any circumstance. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this. There is brighter days on the horizon. For those who don't know, the progressive change slate has arrived. And that slate consists of Onisha, Paulie, let me say her last name, Onisha Grace, Paulie Navarro, Joe Campbell, and myself. There's brighter days ahead here. The games are coming to an end. And just to give you guys the other part of the pamphlet, there you go. There you have it. Onisha, 20 years of service. Paulie, 27 years. Joe, 30 years. Myself, 7. I'm the only Tier 6 member who's been fighting for Tier 6 that's running in this election. No other member was fighting for Tier 6 that's going to be running in this election that's actually speaking with assemblymen and senators regarding our pensions. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let me put up this picture so you guys can see what it's going to be looking like, man. This is what it's going to be looking like. Utano, 40 years, a sellout. Earl Phillips, a sellout. Linwood, Wichard, I ain't gonna lie, I had hopes for you, brother. But the way you've been acting, you sold out. Latanya, she don't got what it take. She don't got what it take. But look at us below. You can see it in our eyes. We mean business. Even with masks, you could tell a lot from people's eyes. You could tell a lot from people's eyes. Look at their eyes and look at our eyes. There was a reason why I made this like that. Look at their eyes and look at our eyes. We mean business. They don't mean no business. It's time for change, people. It's time for change. It's time for change. They shouldn't have a shot this election. They don't believe in it. Let me take you guys back to with their slate, what their team look like right now. The youngest person on their slate is Eric, and Eric is only there because I got him elected. They don't believe in the youth. They don't believe that the youth could lead. They think that your induction date is your birth date. They think that you didn't have a life or knowledge before transit. They feel that if you started transit today, that your life started today. These are the type of fools and idiots that we are dealing with. The MTA know it, and now the members know it. The MTA know it, now the members know it. We have some idiots representing us. Some idiots representing us. But I guarantee you, you're going to see more of them. It's election season. You probably ain't going to be able to get rid of them. You're probably not going to be able to get rid of them. It's pretty crazy. Let me see. You have inspired me, Tramel Thompson. When I joined the MTA, I want to join Progressive Action. Listen, you don't have to join the MTA to join Progressive Action. Progressive Action is a community and labor movement. So if you live in a community, you could join Progressive Action. We do things in the community and we do things on our jobs. So you don't have to wait till you join the MTA to join us. Now, donation time. If you would like to donate to the platform, you could donate via Cash App. The Cash App is Progressive Action 100. If you would like to donate via PayPal, the PayPal is Progressive Action. If you would like to donate monthly, every month, you could donate via the link inside the bio. The description of this video is Patreon. You click on the link, you follow the directions, you donate whatever you fit, choose whatever you want every month. To everyone who's on YouTube, I see you guys on YouTube, man. The YouTube numbers is looking good, man. 30 people watching live. That's more than some people Facebook lives. That's in Local 100. For you guys could do the super chat. You guys could do the PayPal. You guys could do the Cash App. But definitely donate to the platform. We're going to keep coming with this information, and sometime in the near future, we're going to have a MTA. We're going to have a town hall meeting with myself, Paulie, Joe, and Onisha. We want you guys to call in. It's going to be a Zoom. You can ask us whatever questions you want. A lot of people want to ask Paulie, oh, well, you've been down with the union for this long, and why didn't you do this? Or you had mask. And people are so foolish with these questions with the mask and stuff like that. Like the idiot meter is kind of crazy with some of these questions, but I'm quite sure Paulie will be more than happy to answer your questions. And we will make ourselves available to the membership to be questioned about any and everything. We will. We have the best slate that there is. This is the best that you're going to get. And if you want to join, if you want to be involved with the movement, if you want to join Progressive Change, join Progressive Change. Hit me up, hit Paulie up, hit Onisha up, hit Joe up, hit us up, and let us know how would you like to participate in the movement. But once again, if you want to donate to the platform, Progressive Action 100 is the Cash App. Progressive Action is the PayPal, and you can hit Patreon. That's in the link in the description of the video. Thanks for Ms. Goebel for calling in. Thanks for Kemp for calling in. I'll catch you guys later.